Our in-ear EEG is really a lightweight two-channel solution that people can just take out of the box, put in their ears, turn on the device, and you're good to go. I mean, how the brain works is definitely complicated, but how we measure it, that's actually very simple. And it's actually very interesting that we can do that from the ear canal as well. So,
for sure. Hello, welcome to IDUN Technologies podcast. My name is Mark Melnikovic. I'm a product developer, product manager, developer of brain-computer interface technology at IDUN Technologies. Joined today by Michel, our head neuroscientist. And you're working on comparison between gold standard polysonography systems for sleep, together with our in-ear EEG brain-computer interface technologies. Where do you see, like when you compare, when you work with these two systems, what stands out the most in terms of how electrodes go onto the body, how they interact with the human skin, for example? What are your feelings on that?
I think that's really, these are two completely different systems, different solutions. So gold standard EEG is usually done with wet electrodes, which means you need some sort of conductive gel, which you put between the skin, the scalp, and the electrode. You do have usually from 16 to 256 electrodes on your head. Unicorn fell down again. The gold standard EEG takes a lot of time to set up, depending on how many electrodes you have, from I'd say 15 minutes to 1 hour. It's usually a bulky device. There are already some mobile devices, but still you definitely have the cap. You have many electrodes. You have a big box with an amplifier at least. Usually you have an even larger box with an amplifier, which is really a stationary solution then. These devices cost a lot of money, and they need to be put on and cleaned and everything by trained professionals. So in comparison to that, our in-ear EEG is really a lightweight two-channel solution that people can just take out of the box, put in their ears, turn on the device, and you're good to go. And yeah, that's really it. And it's a dry electrode, so no need for gel. Yeah, that also makes it more user-friendly and better for long-term use.
And how's the feedback when you're working with test subjects? What are their impressions from the two systems?
Yeah, I mean, it's very clearly that people prefer the in-ear EEG when it comes to comfort. If we do, very simple experiments where people just have to sit in front of a computer screen for 10 minutes, it's no issue to wear a EEG, a full scalp EEG cap. I mean, of course, it takes time to set it up and everything, but there you don't really see much of a difference when it comes to comfort. As soon as you do longer recordings, especially, for example, during sleep, then people very, very clearly prefer the simple ear tips that they put into their ear.
Nice. And so how do you think, like, what do you think are the next steps to bringing these electrodes and materials into a wider consumer or integrating into the wider product space?
I think from a neuroscience perspective, we are currently in the stage of validating the in-ear EEG biomarkers, exploring new ones. So very basically, we want to show and prove, hey, what we measure is actually meaningful neural data, neural activity. And we have definitely done that quite extensively the last couple of months, especially now when we look at the sleep data, where we see, so when we run a sleep study, we have a participant wear a gold standard polysomnography system and also our in-ear EEG system. We then see a very clear match between the two data signals, especially when we look at the power spectrum. So we see very clear sleep markers from our in-ear EEG, and we are also able to do proper sleep scoring with that data. So there, I think we already show that we really can have validated already what we do. On the hardware side, I think there is still room for improvement, and that's also something we're working on here on a daily basis. So we want to make our whole system smaller, more efficient when it comes to battery life. At one point, we also want to get rid of the cables between the two electrodes, or the two earpieces, and have a true wireless system. With all these steps, also with more efficient amplification of the system. With all these steps, I think we get closer and closer to really have a product that every user can use on a daily basis.
Yeah, looking forward to that. The everyday ear EEG, brain-computer interface. Probably have to find an easier way to describe it. I know for some people, just the concept of what a brain-computer interface does is a bit of a mystery. But when we talk about putting electrodes onto the head, what exactly are you seeing? What are you measuring?
We're measuring the synchronous activity of electrical activity of tens of thousands of neurons, mostly in upper levels of layers, of the cortex. So spatial resolution will always be a problem with non-invasive measurements. So you will never know exactly where your activity comes from. Plus, it's always going to be the summation of a bunch of different, of many neurons.
Sounds complicated.
It's actually not. It's actually not. I mean, how the brain works is definitely complicated, but how we measure it, that's actually very simple. And it's actually very interesting that we can do that from the ear canal as well. So yeah, that's something that, there's not a lot of research from in that field. It's a fairly new field.
Good time to make an impact.
Exactly. That's why we're here. Yeah.
Making an impact in 2022, also a potential motto for IDUN going forward. Thank you very much, Michel, for delving a bit more into the difference between gold standard polysomnography, PSG systems, and our in-ear electrodes. If you have any comments, questions, thoughts, ideas, fears, hopes for the future, feel free to get in contact with us via emails, phone calls, social media, or drop by our office in Zurich, Switzerland. Thank you very much, Michel, and we look forward to you making an impact on sleep in 2022.
Thank you.
Tschüss, zusammen.
Bye-bye.
Danke.